Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir-bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa-kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna-prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 11, Calculation of Time from the Atom. So currently we are at the section where there is a description of the yugas and the manus. And yesterday we have seen very clearly that how the yugas, they are described with reference to Kali Yuga, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times and 1 time. And then entire Divya Yuga cycle is being explained. And this is the time calculation is very solidly done in this chapter. Text 26. Eshadainandina sargo brahmastrayilokasya vartanah tiryang nrupa pitrudevanam sambhavo yatra karmabhihi. Translation.
In the creation, during Brahma's day, the 3 planetary systems, Swarga, Martya, and Patala, revolve, and the inhabitants, including the lower animals, human beings, demigods, and pitas, appear and disappear in terms of their fruitive activities. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So this is Dainandina. It's a daily affair. Sargaha, the creation. In this creation, during Brahma's Dainandina, the 3 planetary systems, Svarga, Martya, and Patal, these are the 3 planetary systems, they revolve. And the inhabitants there, they keep on appearing and disappearing based on their fruitive activities. So there is a constant, that's why Mahaprabhu says this, Brahmanda Brahmite, Kauna Bhagyavan Jeev. One is constantly roaming in the Brahmanda, sometimes higher planetary system, sometimes lower, sometimes middle. Kauna Bhagyavan Jeev. Or later we'll see in the Prahlad's prayers, Brahmatam Upari Adaha. So he says Brahmatam, one is moving Upari Adaha. Now we are very excited that we will go to Svargalok and we'll enjoy this and that. But we have done this for lifetimes previously. Right. And therefore, a person, after doing this up and down for a long time, what will happen is, he will conclude, now enough of this up and down, let me become devotee. And this is where he comes to conclusion. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevah sarvamiti samahatmasu durlabha. So this is the up and down movement of the living entity, where living entity is constantly Brahmatam upariyada. Urdhvam gacchanti satvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasa, jaghanya guna vrittistha, adho gacchanti tamasa. So based on the modes which are instigated by time and the desire of the living entity is constantly traveling within these 3 planetary systems. There is nothing new. Text 27. Manvantareshu Bhagavan Bibrasatvam Swamurtibihi Manvantadibhiridam Vishwam Auti Uditam Paurushaha. Translation.
Translation. In each and every change of Manu, The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears by manifesting his internal potency in different incarnations as Manu and others. Thus he maintains the universe by discovered power. Hare Krishna.
Now, wherever there is a change of the Manu, now let us remember in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, right? So there is a Manvantara, there are 14 Manus are there in one day of Brahmaji. The Supreme Lord appears as the Manvantara incarnations. Sometimes the Lord may appear as Manu himself if there is no qualified personality to rule over. And sometimes others may take the position of the Manu. And at times the Lord will take the different Manvantara avatar. Manvantara avatar means avatars which happen in the duration of that Manu. Later we are going to see the different Manus, their names, and which avatar typically come in which Manvantara. Text 28. Now this is the final section, text 28 to 37. Here we'll see destruction of the universe and Lord Brahma's lifespan. Tamo matramupadaya pratisamruddha vikramah kalena anugateshena aste tushnim dinatyaye. Translation.
In each and every change of Manu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears.
Next.
Oh, sorry. The end of the day. Sorry, am I missing something?
28 at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, under the insignificant portion of the mode of darkness, the powerful manifestation of the universe merges in the darkness of night. By the influence of eternal time, the innumerable living entities remain merged in their dissolution, and everything is silent. Purport. This verse is an explanation of the night of Brahma, which is the effect of the influence of time, in touch with an insignificant portion of the modes of material nature in darkness. The dissolution of the three worlds is effected by the incarnation of darkness, Rudra, represented by the fire of eternal time which blazes over the three worlds. These three worlds are known as Bhu, Bhuva, and Swaha, Patala, Martya, and Svarga. The innumerable living entities merge into that dissolution, which appears to be dropping of the curtain of the scene of the Supreme Lord's energy, and so everything becomes silent.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this is Kalpakshaye. Kalpa is over. Then, under the insignificant portion of the mode of darkness, the powerful manifestation of the universe merges into the darkness of the night. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, we are discussing about, this is the explanation of night of Brahma. By the influence of eternal time, the innumerable living entities remain merged in that dissolution and everything is silent. So this is the night of Brahmaji. The dissolution of the three worlds is affected. We have seen that except the upper three planets, all the entire universe is again dissolved, and the eternal time which blazes over the three worlds. So three worlds here are called as Bhur Bhuvasvaha. So this comes in Gayatri Mantra, Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha. So these are the Patala, Martya, and Svargaloka. And this is like, sometimes after the whole long play, drama is done, you take the curtains down and everything is suspended now. Brahmaji has gone to sleep. The sleep will last as long as the day of Brahma. Text 29. Tamo evan pidhiyante loka bhuradayasтрayah nishayam anuvrittayam nirmukta shashibhaskaram. Translation.
When the night of Brahma ensues, all the three worlds are out of sight, and the sun and the moon are without glare, just as in the due course of an ordinary night. Purport: it is understood that the glare of the sun and moon disappear from the sphere of the three worlds, but the sun and the moon themselves do not vanish. They appear in the remaining portion of the universe, which is beyond the sphere of the three worlds. The portion in dissolution remains without sun rays or moon glow. It all remains dark and full of water, and there are indefatigable winds, as explained in the following verses. Hare Krishna.
So the night of Brahmaji, the glow of the sun and moon, the sun rays and the moon glow, when the night of Brahma ensures, the all three worlds are out of the sight. And the sun and moon are without glare, just as it happens in the ordinary night. So ordinary night, we see that there is no sunlight. And if you take Amavasya night, there is no moonlight also, right? It is pitch dark. So that doesn't mean that sun and moon have been lost. Neither their glare is lost. That glare is not available to us where we are. Srila Prabhupada explains this, that the glare of the sun and moon disappear from the sphere of the three worlds, but that does not mean that the sun and moon themselves are vanished. No. They appear in the remaining portion of the universe, which is still existing, the upper planets, the planets of the Maharjana Tapaloka, which are not destroyed even in the night of Brahmaji. So they are there. But the world in general, that is without sun ray or the moon glow. So it is dark, full of water, and tremendous winds are there. And this is what is the Brahmaji's night. No sun, moon, therefore complete darkness. It is water is inundating the planetary systems, and very heavy winds they are blowing. The winds and the water which was previously drank by Brahmaji now reappears, and again the whole thing is submerged. Text 30. Trilokyam dayyamanayam shaktya sankarshanagnina yanti ushmanar maharloka janam bhrugu adayordita. Translation.
The devastation takes place due to the fire emanating from the mouth of Sankarshan, and thus great sages like Dhruvu and other inhabitants of Maharlok transport themselves to Janalok, being distressed by the warmth of the blazing fire which rages through the three worlds below.
Sankarshana Agni. So there is the devastation takes place due to the fire emanating from the mouth of Sankarshana. And this fire is so great that it reaches even up to the inhabitants of Maharloka. And Maharloka, there are great Maharshis who are staying there, like Bhrugu Maharshi. They are also unable to tolerate the fire, and therefore they will transport themselves from Maharloka to Janaloka. And this is how the process of dissolution is happening during the night of Brahmaji. Text 31. Tavat tribhuvanam sadya kalpantaidit sindhavah praliyante utkaatopam chandavate ritormayah. Translation.
At the beginning of the devastation, all the seas overflow and hurricane winds blow very violently. Thus, the waves of the seas become ferocious, and in no time at all, the three worlds are full of water. Purport. It is said that the blazing fire from the mouth of Sankarsana rages for 100 years of the demigods, or 36,000 human years. Then, for another 36,000 years, there are torrents of rain, accompanied by violent winds and waves, and the seas and oceans overflow. These reactions of 72,000 years are the beginning of the partial devastation of the three worlds. People forget all these devastations of the world and think themselves happy in the material progress of civilization. This is called Maya, or that which is not.
So this devastation, this is just the beginning of the devastation. The seas will overflow, the hurricane winds blow very violently, and the waves of the sea become ferocious, and in no time the three worlds are inundated with water. So there is fire from the below, from the mouth of Sankarshana, there are the tremendous winds are blowing, and the water is inundating. At times we forget that even Earth is more than 70% water, right? So, Purport Srila Prabhupada says, the blazing fire from the mouth of Sankarsana rages for the 100 years of the demigods, that is 36,000 years. And for another 36,000 years, there will be torrential rains. So 36 plus 36, these are the 72,000 years, and this is just the beginning of partial dissolution, devastation. Is anyway partial and devastation, right? And still Prabhupada says, Shesha sthavaram icchanti. The remaining people want something permanent in the life, and this is called as Maya, that which is not. Shesha sthavaram icchanti, right? Text 32. Antah satasmin salila आस्ते नन्तोऽसनो हरिः योगनिद्रं निमीलाक्षः स्तूयमानो जनालयैः. Translation.
The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, lies down in the water on the seat of Ananta with his eyes closed, and the inhabitants of the Janaloka planets offer their glorious prayers unto the Lord with folded hands. Purport. We should not understand the sleeping condition of the Lord to be the same as our sleep. Here the word Yoga Nidra is specifically mentioned, which indicates that the Lord's sleeping condition is also a manifestation of his internal potency. Whenever the word yoga is used, it should be understood to refer to that which is transcendental. In the transcendental stage, all activities are always present and they are glorified by the prayers of great sages like Bhrigu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So during this time, the Supreme Lord lies down on the water on the seat of Ananta. His eyes closed, and the Lord is in Yoga Nidra. The Maharloka saints, they have transferred to Janaloka, and they begin offering prayers to the Supreme Lord with folded hands. In the Purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, when the Lord sleep, the sleep of the Lord is not like our sleep, where we are snoring, and then somebody is just waking up from the saying that ek side pe ho jao, we are unable to sleep, and then so many, the substances are excreting from the mouth, nose, and different holes of the body. So that is our sleep. But Lord's sleep is Yoga Nidra. So Prabhupada says the sleeping condition of the Lord is not just like our sleep. Therefore, the word Yoga Nidra is used. Yoga means transcendental. So this is a divine, mystic sleep of the Lord. Lord is in sleeping condition. That is also manifestation of his Atma Maya, his internal potency. All the sages, they come together and they offer prayers. And the sages like the great sage Bhrigu and others, they will be offering prayers to Lord in this period. Text 33. Evam vidairahoratrai kalagatyopalakshitaihi apakshitam ivapyasi paramayur vayashatam. Translation.
Thus, the process of exhaustion. Go ahead, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Thus, the process of exhaustion of the duration of life exists for every one of the living beings, including Lord Brahma. One's life endures for only 100 years in terms of times in different planets. Purpose. Every living being lives for 100 years in terms of time in different planets for different entities. These 100 years of life are not equal in every case. The longest duration of 100 years belongs to Brahma, but also the life of Brahma is very long. It expires in the course of time. Brahma is also afraid of his death, and thus he performs devotional service to the Lord just to release himself from the clutches of illusory energy. Animals, of course, have no sense of responsibility, but even humans who have developed a sense of responsibility while away their valuable times without engaging in devotional service to the Lord, they live merrily, unafraid of impending death. This is the madness of human society. The madman has no responsibility in life. Similarly, a human being who does not develop a sense of responsibility before he dies is no better than the madman who tries to enjoy material life very happily without concern for the future. It is necessary that every human being be responsible in preparing himself for next life, even if he has a duration of life like that of Brahma, the greatest of all creatures within the universe.
So this is what is the one day of Brahma we have seen, what he does when he gives accept. We have seen what happens in one night of Brahma. And like this, day after day, night after night, lifespan of Brahma's 100 years, they are passed on. Here, Bhagavatam says, the process of exhaustion of the duration of life exists for every one of the living entities, including Lord Brahma. Evam vidhair ahoratrai. One's life endures only for 100 years, and in terms of the times of the different planets. So a living entity is supposed to live for 100 years of his own time. Like a dog's 100 years will be finished in, say, 10, 12 years. Human beings' 100 years are supposed to be finished in 100 solar years. But all credit to the Kali Yuga and the modern, the lifestyle that has very severely diminished people's lifespan. Right. Although one may apparently think that the average lifespan is increasing, but that is not the case. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, every living being lives for his own, her own 100 years, according to the times in the different planets. So there may be Indragopa sect, whose 100 years are like our 3-4 days, and there may be Indra, whose 100 years are like our thousands of days, and there is Brahma, whose 100 years are like trillions of our years. But everybody lives for 100 years. The longest duration belongs to Brahmaji, where his 100 years are the longest on Brahmaloka. But still, Prabhupada says, even Brahmaji is afraid of death because he, from his perspective, is also living 100 years. Right? It's just perspective. Correct. And thus he performs devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Now, apart from this, there are animals who have no sense of urgency, no sense of responsibility, and there is no question of they performing devotional service. But Prabhupada said the humans, they have the sense of responsibility. But still, in spite of having the sense of responsibility, they while away their valuable time without engaging in devotional service. Right. Manushya janama paiya Radha Kṛṣṇa na bhajiya janiya shuniya visha khainu. So although one has obtained the Manushya Janama Paiya, Radha Kṛṣṇa na bhajiya. There are many such verses like this. Sudham parityajya visham pibanti. Ascharyametadhi Manushya loke. Sudham parityajya visham pibanti. Namani narayana gocharani. Tyaktva anyavacha kuhaka vadanti. Kulashekara prays like this. So the human beings have the sense of responsibility, they have the understanding of the time, but still they while away their valuable time. Previously, we have seen the kṣaṇa, ekopi, na labhet, svarna kotipi, without engaging in devotional service to the Lord. And that is, Prabhupada says, that is the madness of the human society. Just like a mad person will have no sense of responsibility, similarly, the human being, they are simply happy enjoying the current moment and they are not worried about the next life. At best, people want to do financial planning for the retirement, but they don't have any understanding that after retirement, there will be death, and after death, there will be life. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So just like I'm preparing for my retirement financially, I should prepare for my life, the next life which is coming. Okay, this is not the last life. But this is so this is how the durations of living entities, they are being explained here. Text 34. Yadaryam ayushastasya parardham abhidhiyate purva parardho upakranto hya parodya pravartate. Translation.
The
The
100
100
years
years of Brahma's life are divided into two parts, the first half and the second half. The first half of the duration of Brahma's life is already over, and the second half is now current. Purport: the duration of 100 years in the life of Brahma has already been discussed in many places in this work. And it is described in Bhagavad Gita 8.17 also. 50 years of the life of Brahma are already over, and 50 years are yet to be completed. Then for Brahma also death is inevitable. Hare Krishna.
Now, from the perspective of the universe, what is the current time going on Brahma's planet? So it is so beautiful. Our panchangas, our astrological calculations, astronomical calculations, they are so amazing. It is explained that Brahma is currently 51st. So Brahma's life, 100 years are divided into two parardha, the Purva Parardha and Uttara Parardha, Dviparardhas. So first 50 years of Brahma are already over. So Brahma's age is around, it is said that 51 years, and this much of the day is going on. And what is Brahma's time on the clock on Brahma's time is also being described. That is around something like 12:30 afternoon Brahma right now on a particular day of his particular year. Okay, to this minute, the calculation is being given. So Brahma's first half is over. Brahma is entered the second half. Of course, he never becomes old, right? He is not like, sometimes people show Brahmaji as a very old man because, there is concept of Pitamaha Brahma, and he's supposed to be the first living entity, and therefore they are often shown old. But Brahmaji is very, very young, okay? Because the old age doesn't affect Brahmaji in that way. So 50 years of Brahmas are already over. Next 50 years slot is going on. But for him also, the death is inevitable. Bhagavad Gita says this, Abrahma bhuvanal loka punaravartino arjuna mamupetya punarjanma. The Abrahma bhuvanal loka. That even up to the planet of Brahmaji, there is a death. Every place is a place of repetition of birth and death. Punaravartino arjuna. Text 35. पूर्वस्यादौ परार्धस्य ब्राह्मो नाम महान्भूत कल्पो यत्र अभवत् ब्रह्मा शब्द ब्रह्मेति यं विदुः. Translation.
In the beginning of the first half of the Brahma's life, there was millennium called Brahma Kalpa, wherein Lord Brahma appeared. The birth of the Vedas was simultaneous with Brahma's birth. Purport. According to Padma Puran, Prabhasa Khanda, in 30 days of Brahma, many kalpas take place, such as Varaha Kalpa and Pitru Kalpa. 30 days make 1 month of Brahma, beginning from the full moon to the disappearance of the moon. 12 such months complete 1 year, and 50 years complete 1 parardha, or 1/2 the duration of the life of Brahma. The Shvetavaraha appearance of the Lord is the first birthday of Brahma. The birth date of Brahma is in the month of March, according to the Hindu astronomical calculation. This statement is reproduced from the explanation of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
So now there is even more in depth. In the beginning of the first half of Brahma's life, is the beginning, there was a millennium called as Brahma Kalpa. Now, each day of the Brahma also has a name. Okay, Brahma's days are named, and the Brahma's day, the Kalpa is named. Each Kalpa has a name. So this is, we are discussing about Brahma Kalpa. What happened in Brahma Kalpa? Wherein Lord Brahma appeared. The birth of the Vedas was simultaneous with Brahma's birth. So this is the appearance of Brahmaji, and birth of the Vedas, they also appeared. So they are apaurushaya, but they become manifest through Brahmaji, and therefore it is being mentioned of birth of the Vedas. Srila Prabhupada quotes Padma Puran, and Padma Puran, there in the Prabhasa Khanda, 30 days of Brahmas, Kalpas are there, and such as the Varaha Kalpa, Pitru Kalpa, so on and so forth. And when the day begins, 30 days make 1 month of Brahma, beginning from the full moon to the disappearance of the moon. So from Paurnima to Amavasya is the month of Brahmaji. Okay. 12 such months make 1 year, 50 years makes 1 parardha, and 2 parardha makes 1's lifetime of Brahma. Now, Shveta Varaha appearance of the Lord is the first birth date of Brahmaji. Okay, so if you want to say happy birthday to Brahma, then it is this is in the month of March, according to Hindu astronomical calculation. This is nothing but our Gudi Padva. Okay. So when we say that this is the time when universe was created, Brahmaji took birth and everything, and all this is by the statement of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, whose Tirobhav Titi was yesterday. Okay, so Prabhupada quotes here Padma Puran and commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So we'll conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you,
Jai.
Prabhupada. Thank you,
Jai.
everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you,
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhupada. Thank you,
Dhanapana.
Prabhupada.
Prabhu has a small question.
Yes.
Prabhu, you said that sun and moon, they're still shining even though Brahma is on sleep, that night, Brahma's night. But they'll shine other part of universe.
Right.
If Brahma is sleeping, basically that's his loka itself is a topmost loka. So, I mean, what about the lokas below him will be shining and he will be sleeping? I mean, technically, just to understand.
No, the top three lokas will be there. Janalok, Tapalok, Maharlok, Brahmalok. These will be, these will be still there in existence. And all the great saintly people, they will, they will migrate themselves to these planets. Brahmalok, Maharlok, Tapalok. Even Janalok feels the heat of Sankarsana. And that's why we see that Bhrigumani goes from Janalok to Maharlok. Like, so, so only these planets will remain. And of course, the sun and moon, they also remain. Sun and moon, they are, they are like, the planets are inundated. Sun and moon, they remain. But they don't shine in this part of the universe.
Oh, so
And
they
Prabhupada says,
remain, but they
yeah,
don't shine.
they remain, but they don't shine on this part of the world, this part of the universe.
Okay.
Their shine also remains, but they don't shine here. Just like Prabhupada said on ordinary Amavasya day, neither there is sun, neither there is moonlight, neither there is sun rays, and it's darkness here. So full night is. So similarly, that is the night of Brahma. Right? It is slightly complicated to understand, but in the fifth canto, there will be even more description. And even more description also means even more confusion, right? So why? Because, again, the paradigms are different. We see from the, the very deductive, inductive paradigm. We want to find out on our own, that kind of a paradigm. Whereas Bhagavatam, entire description, it is from the, the parampara, deductive paradigm. And also what happens is there is no difference in the description of various scriptures. Like, the Padma Puran will explain, but they will explain something around this only. It is not some fantastic different explanation given in Padma Puran and different explanation given in Varaha Puran or, the Vedas or even the Smritis, Manusmriti, so on and so forth. They will eventually give the same explanation. Correct. So it is difficult to understand, but the great sages, they have ekavakyata on this. And that's why Prabhupada quotes Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti. Certain things are really difficult to understand for us. And then that's what this especially the universe comes under that category. That very difficult to understand. Right? Thank you, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one sentence is there in the last purport, 35th, that 30 days make 1 month of Brahma, beginning from full moon to the disappearance of moon. So it is only 15 days, and how it is 30 days then?
Yeah, 15 plus 15.
Then it is full moon to full moon only, na?
Full moon to full moon, but full moon to full moon, yeah.
So then it is given here full moon to disappearance of the moon. So it is 15 days, no?
Right. Yeah. There is something. There it should be full moon to full moon. That is 30 days. Correct. Good point. Typo. We can put it to PPT. Sometimes some typos are there.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.